We should be live now. Yay, the stats have updated. I went and left this door open. Thankfully, you guys are not yet watching my... Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to GloKidd's Adventures. We are playing today Day of the Tentacle Remastered. And there's a lot of really cool things that we're gonna have an opportunity to check out today. Let's go ahead and switch over to where I would end up having something. And this one, I usually have things launched beforehand, but I decided I wanted it to see the whole launching part. Hey, that was my background for a second there. I quite enjoy The Max by Sam Keith. All right. So as we can see, we have a totally revamped menu system. I'm going to go into the options and just explore some things while we wait. Hey, ATM machine, how you doing? Thank you very much for popping on, man. One thing that I've mentioned over and over again in our playthroughs so far is there's certain things comforts that I've gained from modern adventures that you start sort of like missing a little bit, and I think this is a pretty cool thing as well. So they had a chance to revisit and redo how they did some stuff and the ways that they changed the interface for this game. Very interesting, and you see some very modern adventure staples here, like for example object highlight, where you can hold a button down and see all the objects in the room, and yeah, that takes away an element of, you know, the whole pixel hunt aspect of it. And perhaps back in the day would have definitely sort of felt like it cheapened the experience a little bit. But I have to say, playing modern adventures, it feels like such a staple to a point where the developers themselves are playing around with that, like Tall Story Games, or the people who do the Lucid Dreaming demo that's out right now, and Hair of the Dog, which they just released as well. They use an object highlight feature, but it doesn't highlight all of the objects, just key interactable objects. But other background pieces are still there, and it leaves room for Easter eggs, and it's really, really fun. Been trying to find this one Easter egg that they're having a bit of a contest for in the Lucid Dreaming demo, and that has been a lot of fun to try to figure that out. And because it's a contest that involves, you know, they're going to be giving away copies and you know, putting somebody who wins overall into the game itself, I think it didn't make sense to like stream my attempts to find that, because if I got it, then it's like a big spoiler to the internet and it ruins the contest and no way. Anyway, so hey, look, it's a game. We decided to play it. Let's do that. All right. So new game, and absolutely let's enable the developer's commentary. Such thickness and body to the new remastered audio.
So, did we already introduce ourselves? Should we do it again for real? Who's gonna start?
All right.
Peter.
Hi, I'm Peter Chan, and I'm the lead artist.
You drew that painting right there, right?
Yes, I did, yes.
Okay.
I'm Larry Ahern, lead animator.
You killed that bird.
And I think that was a Leela scene.
Oh, okay.
She's the animal killer.
Yeah.
I like the mustache trees.
That's...
I'm Tim Schaefer, co-project leader of this lovely game.
And I am Dave Grossman, other project leader and designer and writer along with Tim of this lovely game.
That should have been our titles, co and other.
Co and other, yeah.
Clint Bajakian,
the question is, do we want to play Maniac Mansion completely in the middle of this
The game
game?
has begun, you guys. Okay, so we saw the lovely...
Because I'm
what's the name of that
seriously considering
classical
it.
music that plays during the opening voice?
Rossini, William Tell Overture. It's the quiet part of the William Tell Overture.
There's two classical
Just
pieces
throw a
that
Bernard,
need
Razor, and
cartoons.
Dave
Yes,
playthrough.
there's that one, and then there's...
Right in
and the other
the
one
center.
is...
Although, if I did...
Where is that from?
Let's listen. They have more insight on this
Might
than
be
I
Peer
at
Gynt
the
or
moment. So.
something like. That's a good guess.
It's not another place in the Rossini, is it?
No, I think it's Peer Gynt. I think.
But for that opening scene with the music, we actually got the score and
Yeah.
sequenced the ink into the MIDI sequencer.
Mm-hmm. That was one of the big panning sequences, like wide pieces of art for the game.
Oh, the
Panned
room
over.
shot. It was a double room.
And I noticed there's a poster with an L from Laverne and Shirley on that poster back there.
Here's one of our giant animation scenes.
How did you lip sync back then? Because we didn't have any like tool. Nowadays we use a tool for lip syncing.
I wonder when
You
they
just
were
by
doing
hand
it,
did a
we
little,
just
like-
doing
timed
this
it out like
commentary,
the
if they're
old-fashioned
watching
timing
that or
No,
the
that was
classic
for the
version.
cinematics, but
Which,
for in-game, wasn't it Eric
what is the
Bowman?
switch it button?
I thought it just blah 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 chattered.
I think
for
the
you.
in-game was just on-off with audio on-off.
Yeah, there's no actual lip syncing for
Yeah.
the majority of the game,
So it's
which
just-
is funny since I have gotten many compliments on the lip syncing for this game over the years.
Because, you know, it loops around and every percentage of the time it's on, right?
Well, because I remember
Yeah, I
Eric.
think Eric designed some kind of an algorithm for making the lips move to the level of volume.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah. If there
Of the
are pauses,
waveform, of the
pauses in
waveform.
the audio,
Waveform,
it stops
yeah.
moving the lips.
Yeah.
That's true.
In my infographic, it made a crack about CMI Guybrush being like cousins to these main characters because they're
Now,
all
these
designed by
credits
Larry
were
Ahern,
Mikhail
right?
Balda,
That's
you were
right.
saying entirely on his internship.
Yep.
So wait, did we not pay for these
He,
credits, or did we
he
pay for
took
them?
You got
time-
paid, right?
I think so. Yeah. He took time. This
What
is
I
Peter,
find
the other Peter.
frustrating a little bit.
We took
is-
time out of CalArts. He
Can I
came
pause
and
that? No, that just. Oh well, I guess it brought me to there. No man is an island. Is like the people who discredit CMI, you know, and all the Monkey Islands past Monkey Island 2, which I understand the reasoning, and I want to try Ron's game as well, right? Making that clear right away. But those same people will like completely love Dot and all the various animations and whatnot from like Monkey Island 2 that Ahern did as well. Like, this was his first time being able to create all the characters in the series, or at least draw the rendition of all the characters in the series in this, and then you have all the beautiful Peter Chan backgrounds. And you know, it was like the next guys got their chance to get the lead, right? Like, and I can understand also there's an ongoing, you know, not going to say argument, but discussion at the very least of whether or not it's a valid sequel to Maniac Mansion, being that they play completely different. Yes, they have the same characters and, you know, derived from the same setting, etc. I'll say it's a different type of game, even if it is another point and click that takes place in the mansion and
spent
all
some
that.
time with us,
But
and we gave him this intro
that's-
as an internship. and he
It's an
did
interesting
a
conversation going
fabulous
on right
job.
now.
Seems like a funny thing to
Well,
do.
not
Like,
right now.
hey, you're an
For a
intern. You've never
while,
done this before. Do
you
you want to
know.
do the entire
They're older games.
animated intro? The most.
But I remember when he did, you know, when he finished something, he shared it with us. We were all blown away by it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
The most iconic signature piece. Can you
Yeah.
hurry and finish that before you go
You
back to
want to
school?
set the entire
That's right.
tone for the look of our game, and
It was excellent.
it's awesome.
I would later learn that was the perfect. This was the perfect piece to have
I
Kyle
again
work
will
on.
say that I want
because he
to
was colorblind.
one day have a conversation with
didn't
Captain
know that.
Trips,
Saw him
I
working
didn't-
on
I didn't
something
know
else,
that.
and he had
I would
other
love
people
to
picking
hear
colors.
his insights
Oh,
on all
interesting.
these games.
There was another
being like
3D
lead
artist we
tester
had
on every
there in
one
B
of them
building
down
that was
here.
colorblind too, and it was one of those things where people
Also,
were
you
just kinda,
know,
have you noticed everything? he
Writing a
does?
bunch of
The reds don't make
players'
sense or whatever,
guides
I
and all
can't
that
remember.
sort of thing. Like, think
Oh, the cow.
he might be like
Always
the
gonna be happy
OG
with
super
these players.
fan.
I like
for
the stretchy cow neck.
these
That
games.
cow should have showed up again later somewhere. Missed opportunities.
What if the cow had come on their journey with them? Everything would have been so different.
Well, here's the story explanation right now for why the cow doesn't come.
Because he's just tired.
Yeah, it's like screw that.
Doesn't want to make
Like
the
I've
walk
been
up
to the
hill.
mansion before.
They also sort
Now,
of
this
took
is the
the
first fight
whole
I had with Peter McConnell.
design
Remember this, Peter?
inspired by Skywalker
You were
Ranch
gonna
thing
mention
and
that?
threw it right out the
Because the
window.
opening cutscene was too long. and
That
we-
makes
we
me a
always had
little
problem
sad
with
because
too
I
long
like
opening
looking
cutscenes, so we're
looking at it and seeing
let's split
Skywalker
it
Ranch, right?
in half and put an interactive sequence. So there's an interactive sequence was about to start, but I seem to remember it was the wrong time.
Just
of
saying
day. It was nighttime
Skywalker Ranch
outside.
is an
It started
overgeneralization.
in the
That's a whole
daytime
compound
with
of
the
buildings
mutations thing, then
there,
it became nighttime.
Right.
but
But
the main
Then
house.
what happened? Then it turned into daytime at the end. That's what bothered you because the music couldn't make that transition in your mind.
Yeah, well, I think mostly
I've also become
crabby
weirdly
because
obsessed with
we
Maniac Mansion
had to
lately,
eat
to a
the
point where I'm
cutscenes
learning
and
like
the
Commodore
interactivity
64
required a bunch of
repair so I
programming
can
that I'm using.
get myself one
And
that
I'd-
works or make one work. Why did you come tell me that?
Finished it one way, and then you changed it to another. And so I think I came up with some sort of artistic argument.
Yes, absolutely. I actually have a
and,
Commodore
The
64
most
Mini
important thing
coming
to
as
learn
well,
running a project to
which you
not
can add
change
additional
this
titles
after
to.
someone spent hours and hours making something.
Well,
I
it's also an
have
important thing to
a
learn
couple
not to
Raspberry
step away
Pis
out
that
of
I
your
also have
bailiwick
set
and
up
tell
for
the guy who's
emulation
read
of
the
it.
scene how to read this.
I really want to have
there are
a
bailiwicks all over
true
the
hardware
place.
Commodore 64 Maniac Mansion playthrough. Footage from that at least for the retrospective, or to try to do a stream of it, which hooking up something like that too. Absolutely. I also want to do a Labyrinth playthrough, to be totally honest. I've never played that game, and I do find that everything feels a little bit better when it's done on natural hardware. So, not saying I have a copy of Labyrinth to throw in, but these days there's some really cool mods available. You can put an SD card into anything and make it think it's a floppy drive, and alright, yeah, no, pick it up. So going back to some interesting differences, I get super distracted because hearing them talk about the game that they made and all these little things, like, I'll admit that during the intro there was more fun quips, which that's entertaining too. But just differences in their implementation. Like they decided, okay, we're going to do something like a verb wheel instead. Instead of holding it down to get to it, you're going to right click and get it that way. Where did the background music go? What? That was really weird. Okay. Look at
a horticultural horror.
Now, I do want to check something because I want to know. I forgot which button switches in between things, and I want to do that pretty often. Switch render mode. Yeah, it's F1.
It's stuck to the floor.
Yeah, you can't pick that up yet. In fact, there's not much point in picking up a whole lot of stuff yet, other than it's around you.
There's something. Aha! A secret passage. This is all too easy.
The transitions are always
how'd you
super
get
smooth. I
upstairs?
do love that they made a
Am
point
I
to.
upstairs? I got lost.
Seen any tentacles?
What's a tentacle?
Oh, just something I whipped up in my spare time.
Tried finding a
Made good
decent
pets,
version
actually,
of the Day of the Tentacle
until
font.
one of them tried to take over the world.
I hate how most of them handle their capital letters. Namely,
Good
they
thing
don't.
You told us that.
Yeah, Bernard wanted
yeah,
us to set them free.
I don't know. Maybe I just got the bad one, which sucks. But
Did you say Bernard?
Bernard. Uh-oh.
Okay, you're free to go.
Thanks, Bernard.
Yes, thank you, naive human. Now I can finish taking over the world.
Oh yeah, he's terribly evil, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Now I remember. He's incredibly evil, isn't he?
I'll try to talk him out of it.
Well, what possible harm could one insane mutant tentacle do?
Leaping lab rats!
Dr. Fred.
What have you done this time, you meddling milquetoast? Now Purple Tentacle is free to use his evil mutant powers to take over the world and enslave all humanity!
Whoops.
Our only hope now is to turn off my sludge-o-magic machine and prevent the toxic mutagen from entering the river!
Isn't it a little late for that, Doctor?
Of course! That's why I'll have to do it! Yesterday, through the time machine.
This is all your fault, Bernard.
Behold, children, the Chronogon.
Daw, can't you just send Bernard?
No, you must all go to increase the odds that one of you will make it there alive.
Have any people ever been hurt in this thing?
Of course not. This is the first time I've ever tried it on people.
What? Yeah, those are appropriate freaked out faces for this situation.
Well, I'll be.
And then there's the porta potties.
If it's not
vessels.
a true sequel, it's definitely a continuation of the story
By the way,
with
is an amazing
certain characters.
full-screen animation before it was possible to do full-screen animation.
But
And
the
not
tone
actually
is
animated,
totally
that's all
different.
the background's all color cycling.
It's all color cycling.
Instead of the whole B horror,
Forgot about that.
Now that computers work like
sci-fi
this, you don't have to do that stuff anymore.
You know, if you look
theme.
at Mark Ferrari's website, not that Mark Ferrari worked
It's
on this,
really
he
its
was
own
master of
animal,
color cycling,
story-wise.
and he has a whole website where he's done it in a more high-end way, like with higher res color cycling. He just kept perfecting that to higher and higher resolutions.
Yeah, that stuff was crazy. He was into it, and then I think Bill Eakin was the one that inherited the mantle from him when he
All
left.
the lava in '84.
Yeah.
Imitation diamond wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
See, color cycling.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah,
hokey
so that was
jumping.
like 2-3 frame.
They
animations.
managed to do this without
A little
having
circle
it.
for
Let's
hokey.
go. To
We always had a place
They
for
did this
surfing,
without
so
a disgusting
back
amount of
bone
gradients.
whacking.
Yep.
They could have totally cheaped out instead of doing the
Yeah, I did
artistic
that last
swirl
sequence here.
and just
Yeah,
done,
with
you know, like the
musically,
background
this, I
when you're
believe, is
traveling
the
through
last
time in
project
Space
that we
Quest
all
4. You know,
worked on to. Certainly the
just
last
two
original
things
title that we all
cycling
worked on
back and forth
together.
that
So
way.
equally as
But
composers,
they're
there
like,
was
no,
lead
no.
composer, and we all pretty much
Right. Panicked and freaked out together.
Cheap mail order jewels.
What happened to Hokie and Laverne?
I knew I should have bought a real diamond.
Are they alive?
My dials say that the larger specimen landed 200 years in the past, and the other is stuck 200 years in the future.
Well, hurry up and bring them back.
Extremely specific.
I will, as soon as I get a new diamond. Then all your buddies have to do is plug in their respective chronogons and...
Plug them in? Where is Hoagie going to find
I would
an
argue
electrical
that
outlet
we also
200
never
years in the
really got
past?
a full
Yes,
spiritual
well,
sequel
he'll be
to
needing my patented
Maniac
super
Mansion,
battery then,
if you think
won't
about it.
he? Now, where
Zack
did I put
McCracken,
those
which
patented
would be
super
close to
battery
it,
plans of
you
mine?
utilize
Plans?
all
How are we
available
gonna get
characters
Hoagie
during the game.
plans?
Like,
Don't
there's
worry me
no
with details,
follow-up
boy.
of,
Just
you know,
help me
8
find
kids
the
that you pick
plans.
3 of,
They're
and
in
everybody
this
can beat the
house
game
somewhere.
somehow. You know?
Now what am I going to do?
Because they want to avoid dead
I
ends and
think
all
I
that sort of
made
thing, and
myself
go
perfectly
further
clear.
into,
Step
you know,
1,
the
find
the
plans.
design
Step 2,
standards
Say
that,
world.
frankly,
Step 3,
make them awesome. But
get out of my house. Let's get cracking.
hey, man, I know that's a lot to take in. Wow, that zoomed in so far. Like, but it didn't. It was zoomed up like the.
Maybe I put them
Interesting.
upstairs. That's got to be
But
it.
because they did
Upstairs.
that, you totally noticed the zoom back in. All right, no, they're not upstairs.
It's Dr. Fred's design for a super battery. It's capable of storing
And
up to
this
1
would have
gigavolt
been the
with
copy
a charging
protection
time of only
in the floppy
0.01
version.
seconds. Wow! I've got the plans.
Quick, we have to flush them to Hoagie.
How did you get over there?
What?
My ingenious super battery design, please.
You really flushed them.
Like,
Yes.
I will say
Down the
that
toilet.
there's no logical way
No. Through
that the basement
time.
from the Maniac Mansion game somehow became this basement.
Chamber I've installed in each chronogen, you can flash small inanimate objects to each other through time. Flash small inanimate objects to
But I
each
guess
other
it's sort of
through
implied
time.
in this story that they sold the rights to the story to
Dr.
LucasArts,
Fred,
but
can
they
you
didn't
hear
effectively
me?
sign the contract, but you fix that.
Drat.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Did you hear something?
It's
No.
all a
Let's
bunch
see
of
if what's his name catches on.
self-referential stuff. So let's take it as an alternate reality
great. I'm
future,
stuck in colonial times. Tentacles are taking
or
over
let's
the
stop
world, and now
overthinking
the
it.
toilet's
But
backing up.
I like overthinking things.
Okay,
It's a lot of fun.
come over here. It's your old pal, Dr. Fred.
Dr. Fred, how'd you get in there?
It's like,
I want you to pick up those plans you see in the chronogen, Hoagie. Bring them to Red Edison. He's my great grandfather. He'll know what to do.
You need the plans to make a super battery so you can plug in your chronogen.
Okay, if
I
you
love
say
how
so, Bernard.
Red Edison just basically
Good boy.
steals the credit for the
Does he
plan.
have any experience
Of course he
with
does.
electronics?
Well, I once saw him take 3,000 volts directly through his head without batting an eye.
Didn't he pass out?
Well, he was already passed out when it happened.
Time for me to save the world, I guess.
Yeah, hi, bro. Okay, cool. Let's go pick up random stuff and then give them to give them to Bernard. I do wonder why they opted to do like the right click to open the menu as opposed to a click and hold. Maybe it works better on mobile. No need to do shit with the mummy. More than likely. Now, I wouldn't say that they seem to have added a bunch of extra frames like they did with the Monkey Island 2 SE. Seems to be a pretty direct draw over with the same level of frames. And to be honest, I don't really think they needed to. They went animation heavy in this title, so... I mean... Totally. Alright, so... I feel like I'm just wasting my time. There we go. Alright, let's pick up some stuff. Ah, that's it. Ah, there's my bucket. I keep wanting to treat it like it's click and hold enterable. I wonder if that's a setting. I want your left-handed hammer. Oh wait, he won't let me until I'm... Well, he might. Haha.
Super battery, eh? Brilliant design. Sometimes I amaze myself. Now all I need is oil, vinegar, and some gold.
Yeah, the help wanted sign. Let's
So as soon as Hoagie gets that battery working, we're set.
I'm afraid not. We still need a diamond for the main unit. And your friend in the future needs power too, if she's
It's
still
purple.
alive.
We will
Alive?
be going right back there.
Get me out of here. I like trees and everything, but this one has got to go.
This is your surgical student, ladies and gentlemen. She can't unhook her underwear from the tree she is hanging from. Her one of the only pieces of inventory she has is a scalpel. It's not figure. Anyways, let's I just don't want to have to be forced to watch the animation of him running over to the Chronojon. He's gonna, of course, say, "Oh, let's run to the Chronojon." Click and drag.
I'll
But I do
just
believe
run to the
that's
Chronojon.
There's something in the Chronojon.
I love Hoagie's voice. I absolutely love Hoagie's voice. Let's see. Whoa. Because
I can't open it.
let's see. Click and drag-ish.
What's this? Help wanted, moronic drone, assist genius, yada yada yada. Well, I'm the only genius
I
around.
am. Am I missing the
look dumber
tracks?
now. So pick up your lab coat and get to work.
Was there a track that popped up for this one that didn't see? I will go back to it. No.
Get me down from here.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. You just complained about it. Press A to play commentary. What? Showed it for half a second, then. Yeah, nothing in this room. Oh wait, first we gotta fuck up George. It's bad. What?
Here I am, don't get your curls in an uproar. Excuse me, Mr. Washington. Boy, what a mess.
Now I feel like it was probably in there. So, there we
So
go.
now, CD games were just starting to be released on CD-ROM, and
The first,
for us it was
the talkie, first talkie.
first talkie, right?
Was it
And
before Rebel Assault?
it was it before or around the
Because
same,
we
same
shipped
year? I
two
think.
versions of this game. We shipped a floppy version and a CD-ROM version.
Followed up with our
CD-ROM was the
first
talkie, right?
our first talk.
The floppy version only had voice in the intro, and then it was all text.
And that was not the original plan to do voice at
Dude,
all.
okay.
We were not going to do it, and while we were making the game,
Human voice was invented.
that's just
well,
my CD-ROM
human voice was invented, and more and more people started to have CD-ROM
CD-ROM,
drives in their home computer to the point where Kelly Flock just came in one day and said, what do you say we delay
The day
game
and
a
day of the
little bit?"
tentacle part of my collection is woefully
Yeah,
lacking.
let's all thank you
Should
to
be.
Myst.
Although, was this pre-Mist?
No, I think, well, I mean, Myst was what sold all those
CD-ROM.
CD-ROMs and Rebel Assault.
All right, let's look at some stuff.
It's covered with plans and junk.
That's one thing I find a failing of all the versions of the fonts that you can find online, is they never seem to have the ability to render the outlines and stuff, and it doesn't look right because of it. You can get the reverse fonts, but even then, it just has an outline, and you basically have to manually color in the center. Wow. Hello, Max. So these are all by Peter Chan, so it's interesting to have Max. Distinguished gentleman. And there's Jar Jar. Who is the distinguished gentleman?
These would look better on velvet.
And who is it? It was just illegible in the first one, in the original. But that is Jar Jar, yo. And I'm not sure. Maybe that's Guybrush. That's a big stretch, though. The hair here is the only thing, and I think that's only because of a speck of dust on my screen that's giving separation in the hair. That's not there. Yeah, it's a stretch for me to say that's Guybrush.
I told you guys I'll get to the flag next. I'm working.
Hey, so when you guys write those multi-branching scripts, I guess you call them,
trees?
Is that what you call them? Dialogue trees?
Yeah.
Was it, did you have to think in a certain mode, or how would you do it? And how would you notate it in Excel or something? Like, how would you map out the branches?
No, it was you would write it in code. We were programming the game at the same time.
You would scum program the dialogue as you wrote.
Oh my God.
You would literally say, here are the choices. If you pick this one, jump down there. If you pick this one, jump down there.
I don't know how Dave wrote it, but I just kind of improv it. Like, you'd write, I wouldn't think or plan too much about it, but okay, you just talk to him, then what would be 4 funny lines on the screen, and then kind of explore one, explore the other, and maybe have other nodes that you can go to, and then I would start planning. Okay, now I've got myself into a mess. How do I get out of here?
Yeah, all about sets of lines. And it was great because one of the things that you run up against as a writer usually in other media is I get to this point and I have to make a decision about how things go. But here we can just leave that up to the player, and all you have to do is get to a point and go, oh, what are all the interesting things I might want to do here or say here? And then you just put them all in.
So it's
easy as
pre-editing.
And I remember you would always design a dead end, like where the train comes to the end of the line. Basically, it's like you say something and then he just keeps giving you the same answer, like, I wouldn't know about that. And then you try something else, I wouldn't know about that. It's like, okay, I guess I've exhausted this. It's sort of like almost like a stopgap or a safety net in a way, maybe.
They always try to let the player know when they've exhausted the character. They're like, look, okay, you found it. You found all of the entertainment we put in this character. It's done.
Because people will explore as deep as you give them. It becomes a responsibility. Oh, I've got to see if there's something down there that I'm missing. So I have to. So you don't want to do.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing to attention you get the wrestle with is like, you want to put a lot of, well, the player might go here, they might go here, they might choose this, might go choose, let's put interesting stuff in all those places. But then if you approach it in the wrong way, sometimes the player gets there and they're like, oh God, I've got to go through all of this stuff. And they feel like they need to find every nook and cranny of the dialogue. And you just put it in there so they'd have a variety of things to choose from. But they feel like it's a task list and they have to like find it all. And so you...
or something's buried there that they missed.
Yeah.
It's injured. Earlier, my cat came home just filthy and limping, and now it looks like he may have one of his rear legs broken. He has been injured several times in this area. Previously, somebody kicked him in the face and like messed him up. And we try to keep him inside, but he's miserable when we do. It's yeah.
Question is, which one's stuffed and which one's the real McCoy?
I assure you that we are both real, but we are
look
neither one
so
of us
dramatically
McCoys.
different
We
than
are
any
Edisons,
of
Ned
the
and
Edisons.
Jed.
Who's who?
Does it really matter? Even our dear father can't tell us apart.
It's like I have a short
He
window to
only
turn
knows
it
that
on.
one of us is
Sorry, I'm a little
left-handed,
distracted.
while the other is
Anyway.
right, but that neither of us are following in his tiny scientific footsteps. Hold still, Jed.
leave
So,
and come back in and
I'm
play
almost
the
too
comic.
frightened to ask.
Well, I'm
Are you
trying
the
at the
marble
moment, but
delivery
it's not
man?
letting me if it's available for this room.
Or the model?
So I'll leave and come back in.
Sorry, hope I haven't jostled you.
Too late.
Well, you know, I remember we would deliver a piece of music, and of course it's comprised mostly of MIDI note events, which is just a tiny little piece of data within the MIDI stream. Note on, and it happens at this velocity on this channel to this instrument and whatever. And I would deliver a piece of music, and the programmer would turn to me and say, Clint, this is over 32K.
Yeah, it's huge.
32 kilobytes. 32 kilobytes. You got to cut this thing down.
Who do you think you are, Mozart?
Yeah. He said, we can't take anything bigger for this scene than 24 kilobytes. So I'd go back and thin the percussion. I'd sometimes have to cut a whole section of the music out to get it down
Well,
to 20.
sometimes there was pushback, though, too, because we'd say, all right, look, 10%, we get 10%. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember the pushback.
Yeah.
I don't remember these technical discussions about the size of the music files.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, and I remember specifically 32K was often too big.
That's why the iMuse system got called the iMuse system, because it was originally called the sound drivers, and then everybody got all upset that because drivers can't occupy a whole floppy disk or whatever it was that the system occupied.
That's a lot of space. Okay, yeah, this area just didn't have commentary. We'll go back to that point. Alright.
I don't wanna.
Haha.
Oh no! I've lost it!
From a design standpoint, I guess they do have, you know, the Edison jawline.
Must inspiration be so
That Dr.
Must
Fred
art be
and
so
Ned,
cruel?
and can't remember what the future one is.
I'm a failure. Don't say that, Ned. Father was right. We Edisons are made to be scientists.
That would make sense.
Not artists. Dear brother, we must be strong in these times of creative adversity. Why don't you let me take over for a while? I'll clean this rubble up and start over. You relax. Have a cappuccino. I'm glad we switched places. I think you're coming out quite well.
Now we can just push Edna there when we want. Awesome. That's a commentary track we just played.
Where am I gonna put it? 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 Where am I gonna put
Over
it?
here. I want it over here. Let's pick up the fucking paint button. Much wouldn't be not me.
Where am I gonna put it?
I feel like this is not something I should be having fucking problems with.
Where am I gonna put it?
There we go.
Sounds like the cat's caught a moose up there.
Now let's go free Laverne. I just noticed the little leaf that they added in there. That was great. There's a leaf that flew past. Nope, not skipping.
Ding, 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 ding. This is that we talked about a little bit when Dave and I played through. But originally, you could play all 3 characters right away. Remember that?
Is that true?
Yeah, you could play all the characters from the very beginning. And we had our first pizza orgy where we tested the game out, and people were like, "Oh, there's so many options," and they were overwhelmed. So now we unlocked it. So you get to play as Bernard for a little while, and then you do something that makes it so you can play Hoagie, and then Verne's the last.
And what about the other 3 kids?
They got cut.
There were 3 other kids?
They were 3 other kids. Do you remember who they were?
No, I don't remember anything about 3 other kids.
I have a piece of paper that has a picture of them.
Moonglow,
Chester,
and
Razor.
And Chester became...
Chester and Moonglow ring a bell.
Chester became Ned and Ted.
Wait, not Ned and Ted. Jed and...
You beat them to it.
Jed and...
Ned and Jed.
Ned and Jed.
Okay.
Ned and Jed.
And they
Moonglow just went away.
Were fighting over a girl named Mindy.
Design from Chester and said, I like that. I'll use that for these guys. And put them in a powdered wig.
Why do the work again?
Exactly.
From Escape from Monkey Island, Ned and Jed and Mindy, when you're trying to figure out yeah. Totally. I think like Wendy was in there too.
Those founding fathers are driving me nuts. Flag design changes every 5 minutes. Well, as soon as I'm done with this, I'm making them a flag, ready or not.
Don't worry. Hey.
How did we...
I'm trying to remember how we did...
How we referred to it to score it, because we would have had to play the game.
I think what we did, yeah, I'm trying to remember too.
Hold
I think
up a
what we
video
actually,
camera in front of the screen?
I think what we did was we got a save game made, and we would play it to the next.
No real point to
like
hang out with Franklin yet.
Like we would the next space bar point or something
kill
like
some
that,
time while
and
they
then we
talk.
would score it, and then we would make it so that the music, because the thing was that you couldn't rely on the sync, right? So we had to actually make the music interactive in a sense with the scene, so that it could, depending on how fast of a machine you had and how quickly therefore the scene would play, would the music actually hit the right hit points and then proceed correctly to the next hit point.
So we would have an accordion like...
We basically had an accordion-like structure.
Each little section, it would sort of pause and then resume at the hit point. Or jump to the hit point if the hit point was reached first.
Yeah, and
which
I'm trying to think if we...
would be only the fastest machines.
Right.
Aw, Dave Grossman shared the playthrough. Thank you very much. It's awesome. I'm gonna. Oh, and Larry Ahern liked the tweet as well. It's a small thing for them, but it always puts a huge smile on my face, and I really, really, really appreciate when they retweet things and that sort of thing as well. That's cool. That's all right. So let's go challenge George Washington's manhood.
Excuse me. Yes?
What are you looking at out there? Wow, that was terrible.
What are you looking at out there? The future of our nation. Those outhouses? No. I was just admiring my reflection in the window. Striking, aren't I?
That's whoa! You're like George Washington.
Very much like him, according to my wife, Mrs. Washington.
Oh, the wit.
Does Mrs. Washington know you wear so much makeup? One must wear makeup when one receives the phenomenal amount of media attention that I do. It's quite likely that I'll be president soon, you know. Do you think I should be the ecology president or the education president?
Gotta go hoagie with this.
Depends on how many cherry trees you've chopped down.
Where?
Well, I am quite the adept tree cutter. Men still tell tales of my youthful prowess.
I bet you lost it. You couldn't cut down a tree to save your grandmother.
I bet you've lost it. You couldn't cut down a tree to save your grandmother. Lost it, have I? Why, I'd show you a thing or two if there were a cherry tree nearby. But as you can see, well, what do you know? There is a cherry tree out there.
Maybe an original version of
sucker down.
This puzzle involved, because it was no longer the softness of a cherry tree, because cherry wood can be pretty soft. Maybe he can go through that in one swing. Because we're trying to get his teeth too, right?
I'm stuck in
different density. Knocks out his teeth. But decided to be a little bit too hardcore for this very Looney Toony game.
You're quite a man. Yes, I know.
It's the Looney Tune take on Maniac Mansion, I would think. Alright, so what can we give to... Oh shit. Forgot I'm in the room with it.
Well, I waited, but she never picked it up.
I
hope she's okay.
No, it's already full. I'll probably just take that shit back. I can't.
It's empty.
Okay. Next. Like, hi, Mr. Tentacle guy.
Get me out of here!
I like how this family, through time, just replaces each member with the exact same member. There's one mad scientist, there's one freaky son, and there's one red-haired lady. They all just give birth to someone who looks just like them? Or are they clones?
I'll say it after.
Or do the Eds grow up into Freds?
And they switch?
And they shrink.
Okay.
They shrink as they get old.
Damn
that sounds like Morty's becoming rich to me.
She knows the Edison family motto.
So, I just want to say, and I can't help but think of it every time I see this design for Ed. Wallmaker's art for Ed, within this style in particular, is wonderful. And just gets better and better. And I honestly hope that one day he does apply. Like, he says he's too young now. And I understand, it sounds like he's still doing his studies and whatnot. He's only gonna get better from it. But I hope one day he does apply at, like, Terrible Toy Box or any one of these adventure game studios, because any place that gets him will be very, very lucky to have him. I think he does great work. All right, hey, Mr. Tentacle guy. Oh, gotta get that. I follow him now on Twitter as well. His name is Ramon Wilhelm.
What?
And yeah, he's just really good at it. I did suggest, because Terrible Toy Box is looking for an animator right now. I suggested it to him a little while back, but he said he's too young. I think you were part of that conversation as well. Anyway, on Discord there. But I have to go to the bathroom.
I have to go to the bathroom.
Ha, that's a good one. Imagine a human using a bathroom. Come on, let's take a walk.
Like, what did Red do?
Okay, human, do your business.
To Purple Tentacle to make him hate humans so much? Like, damn. All right. Now that we're here. Oh, hey, commentary.
The reason for the way Day of the Tentacle looks is because of Monkey Island 2 and how it translated, and how technology back then just mutilated my illustrations. And so for the next round, I knew to
I think if I switch it to the other, it drops the audio track.
The backgrounds, so then I could eliminate most of those floating pixels.
All the noise.
Right? All the noise. So it was a lot of work, because once I scanned it in, I had to clean it all up. So I chose this very like paper cutout kind of simple backgrounds, just to make it look like it was supposed to be this way. That it was supposed to be clean.
And didn't you also scan them in black and white and paint them in D-Paint? Like, I don't think you colorized them before you
No, I did. These are all markers.
Right?
These are all markers.
But didn't you pump the
I pumped up the palettes. Yeah, so out of
the wall is completely like it's one color of gray right back
It was
there.
all like 100 colors of gray, and I would just pick one of them to represent that wall.
Oh, so I always tell people you scanned them in black and white.
Nope.
That's a big
It
lie.
was all,
that's a big lie. Everybody, that's a big lie.
So this is all markers, yeah.
And I don't want to be critical,
Yeah.
but I have a feeling
Yeah.
some of your
Or frankly, like how
and that, again,
take
thank
that
you.
one
Again,
cut
that was a
scene
challenge for
from
me, 'cause I
like
love
cut
perspective
scene,
and,
not cut
proper
scene from Monkey
perspective,
Island
and
2.
so for this
That
game,
room that
definitely learning how to
when they were
do-
showing it off,
to
it
let
hadn't
go,
been colored
go
yet. That was
outside,
hand
no
drawn
control,
black
right?
and
How to
white,
be wrong
brought
on
in
purpose.
probably to be
challenge
painted in
perspective.
D-Paint, right? So.
Oh, I was fighting myself every day just doing this. But you know, I knew, in the end, it was going to be okay, because that was what we chose to do together.
All right, let's do some Chrono Jones Stop and Swap. Let's give that to Bernard. You need that, Hoagie.
I'll use the Chronojon.
We still need the die. Who needs the textbook? I think it's Hoagie. Now let's go to Hoagie and let's get out of this scene so I don't have to. You know what? I'm gonna get 2 scenes over. I don't want him to walk back to the Chronojon. Okay, that needs to. Well, no, that stays here. That stays here. Soap, not, yep. That will have to go to Laverne. That's to Laverne. To Laverne, but not relevant till later. I think that's that for now. Just think, they had all this like D-Paint seems super you know, basic now, of course. But at that point, that was like expensive licensed, you know, art studio stuff. That was like Lucasfilm Games, like owned by George Lucas kind of money necessary to do this stuff back then. Now you get some really great games made by like husbands and wives and stuff, and it's really cool. I don't even know why I'm just clicking for fun now. Alright, so yeah, and was that Space Quest 4? That was like their first go around. Well, I guess King's Quest was, yeah, King's Quest was where they always broke out the new tech, and then everyone else would do it better after. They weren't bad games. I loved those games. I'm quite fond of King Graham, even though, you know, they're cruel and they punish you and. She's like, I want to play. I'm tired of text adventures not having anything. Could you just like make this have some pictures at least, please? Okay. That's what. Imagine that whole moment. All right. So though, we need to do some things in the future. We are like, let's talk to. No, totally. It's undeniable too when you look at the artwork from it. Definitely hand drawn, scanned in. I love I love every time we get a new one of those little postcard-sized felt drawings from Chan and whatnot. It's been years, probably not getting any more, but man, that was always seeing those. It's before they had done special editions and stuff. You're like, they could just do that, but they're so small, and would they even transfer well into high resolution at that point? But it's all about how they're scanned. But still,
hey boy,
at the end of the day, you're gonna see the actual.
You and the clown
marker
were having
dots.
a party?
No, last night. At the Novelty Goods Salesmen's Convention. I tell you, we novelty goods salesmen know how to have a good time.
And it's like how, okay, so almost everybody shows up in each timeline again. Except in the future, they're just all the friggin' pets. Like, I'm pretty sure this future Ben Franklin incarnate, I think he's in the background wearing a big pink wig. I think when we get to that point, we're definitely going to try to figure out who each one is.
Has anyone ever told you you look like Don Quixote?
That's strange. My wife says I look like Charlie Chaplin. Oh, want a cigar?
No. Yeah, sure, why not?
Sure, lay one of those Havanan babies on me.
Thought I was gonna blow your head off there, didn't you? Well, you were right.
I feel like Peter Chan learned a lot from Steve Purcell when it comes to just general illustration. Because, like, there's so much stuff that just seems at home in it. And maybe it's because it's of correlation, but when you look in his backgrounds, like in his comic work, it's very similar in execution. I'm gonna open this. I did waste a great animation in just stabbing the Uzo the Clown doll right away. I really did. punching the doll and having it just knock you over right away onto your back in like full fetal position. Definitely should pop onto the art gallery like at the end or something of like the playthrough itself.
The Duke Memorial Brand Microwave.
Oh yeah, let's pick up the damn coffee.
So Peter, one of the characteristics of this art is
the Duke could be a reference.
Curved lines, like the door is curved,
totally.
and when things are really exaggerated,
Could be a reference to a name
and
of an
curved
atomic
as
bomb
opposed
as well.
to
But
normally
yeah,
you see
it
them
would
straight
probably
lines
be a
and things.
dual reference.
Where did you
if
get
anything.
that?
Yeah,
Do you remember
that
how
would
you
be
developed that? 'Cause that's a real one of the signatures,
for
I think,
them.
of.
Yeah, I mean that's just part of the visual language that I was trying to use, you know, and you're right, that was the goal, was to balance the two.
I wasn't aware of that. That's brutal.
And also, you know, I was trying to simplify, and the inspiration came from Chuck Jones's layout artist, Maurice Noble. So Maurice Noble, you know, if you watched his classic cartoons, designs on, you know, Duck Dodgers and What's Opera Doc, you know, you can kind of see that he. Totally
I think if they
made those
did,
beautiful
they
graphic
probably
shapes.
wouldn't
So
have
that's
made
what I was
such a
trying
joke.
to do, was incorporate some of that into
that
this.
Seems a little bit underhanded.
It makes the environments seem
and mean for their
bigger
general
maybe than
humor.
They would otherwise. They kind of stretch like
there's kind of a
it
fisheye
stretches
effect.
up, a fisheye effect almost up towards the ceiling, and it just seems more expansive, draws you in.
Oh, good.
Right. Let's take advantage of. It's an interesting way to highlight them too. Now, like, I understand, because I've asked this question to a bunch of people in the past, and no, this isn't just like in the next advancement of the Scum engine, but I mean, how can it not be? If you think about it, like, it's written with other stuff on, other code over top of the original stuff, right? Like, and we've had that answered several times by people who were playtesters for these games and stuff too. But I think it still counts, just because it uses an additional layer over top of the original thing. Like, it's not an interpreter just interpreting code. It's taking the original interpreter and then putting additional code on top of it and running it. You know, so maybe this is like. Just continue picking up things now. We got Exercise, that adventure game, Protag, Kleptomania. I don't have enough dimes for this. And here are those MacGuffin keys you're talking. Not MacGuffin, red herring keys.
It's useless. No one will ever be in.
That was really disturbing when he shot himself, and then the stick goes right through his brain, which would be fatal. Very disturbing.
It's true. They would never.
But then he's got a depressed sigh afterwards, so you know he's fine, even though he's still suicidal.
You notice the nice pink box, you know, the Chinese pink box that you get in Chinatown.
Is that for
That's
like
right
almond
there.
cookies? He's got like a little section of. How sad can he be?
I just thought that was donuts.
Well, it's true about that theme, the suicide theme, or cigarettes for another matter. I think we used to have characters sometimes
Yeah,
lighten up and
there
stuff.
was no ESRB when we made this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Give me a goddamn it. We need it to aggravate and get some stamps. Do I have the letter? No, I don't. Let's talk to Green.
Green!
Bernard!
What are you doing up here?
Well, I couldn't stop Purple, and he's gonna go out and conquer the world, and I'm afraid of what he'll do if he catches me, if Dr. Fred doesn't find me first.
See, Green had more stones to him.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, he was mopey in Maniac Mansion.
Hey!
But he had
What's up,
no
Bernard?
problem standing up against Purple Tentacle. Yeah, sure, Purple Tentacle has little nubby arms now. But... as a filthy smoker, I have an opinion or two against the hatred towards smoking. Without being ignorant to the reasons, I have, you know, breathing issues. My father has his own issues, and it's all related to smoking. Anyways. There's always small groups of people that are considered unpopular, but they do deserve to be represented as well. Anyway. How's your new band doing?
How's your new band doing?
Green tea and the sushi platter? We're doing great! We've decided to really capitalize on our strongest quality as a band.
I am, like, bummed right now that Razor, you know, was cut from this game. I don't know. It's cool to have new characters. It's always cooler to do new things. But I enjoy Razor as a character. Not that any characters were dramatically developed in Maniac Mansion at all. So it's all my own affinity to the character, I guess. But
Intoxicating 3-part vocal harmony?
Volume, man, volume! We have a chance to win a Grimy Award as the loudest new band. We're pulling out all the stops.
Weren't you looking for a new guitarist a while back?
Yes, but we decided to go with a guy who plays power tools instead. We can generate a lot more sound that way.
That's great.
Yeah.
just the tone of that's great.
See you later.
Yeah! Good luck in saving the world, B-Man.
Wow, this is loud. Whew.
All right. Let's rid things first. Let's get rid of Edna. For fun. And she was never seen again.
Well, you know what they say. If you want to save the world, you gotta push a few old ladies down the stairs.
So, who do you think wrote that one? Tim or Dave? I'm going with Tim.
Hey, aren't you Weird Ed Edison, the paramilitary nut?
Why, yes, Hey, do I know you?
Yeah, I'm Bernard Bernoulli.
I
broke into your house 5 years.
I remember
There
when
is
I
a
was,
commentary line.
trying to figure out and come up with the style. You know, it was back in those days we didn't really have Google internet search stuff. So, you know, all we had were 2 books that I studied from, and that was a Bugs Bunny book compilation kind of thing, and Chuck-a-Muck, which was Chuck Jones's bio book. And I remember to do research, we had to use VHS tapes, and we watched all those classic Saturday morning cartoon stuff, and we would pause and look at, or for me, I was studying, looking at these old cartoons, and except when you pause on a VHS, you always get the line.
You know, and that makes a lot of sense. That's why, like earlier, it feels very Looney Tune-ish, and yeah, he was using
shapes,
Chuck Jones's stuff as
just study layout.
His primary inspiration, like for all of his layout, you know, and execution.
Are all your hobbies this fascinating?
I don't have any other hobbies. These stamps are my whole life. If anything were ever to happen to them...
Well, hope I didn't get you too excited. Bye.
Peace be with you.
This is fitting into my obsession right now, and I want to see this in the original. Yep, it's the same layout. So this would be a Commodore 64, or at least drawn to try to be one. You can see by the general keyboard layout, the 4 function buttons off to the side, the drive here. Fuck, I want a Commodore 64. So, I mean, this is an opportunity. If we wanted to, we could play all of Maniac Mansion right now. Like, not all at the same time. I do have a limitation on how long I can play for. Absolutely. It's weird that they show in a Commodore 64 here, but we're playing a V2. We won't actually play full playthrough, but we gotta show off the stuff a bit. Let's pull out Bernard and Razor because, you know, let's get that intro in. That'd be cool if you could switch, if they went so far as making it like you could press F1 and it'd switch between this and V1. You should have done that. This is a really fun song to play, although I have to work on the sort of climb that it does after the intro part. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I guess there was no version available for it. Did they make an Apple II version? I think they did. I'm not sure. But yeah, not Mac. Yeah. Thought I got some Apple II footage for Atari's teammate. Don't be a tuna head, Bernard. It's Sandy we're talking about. Damn. Oh, you had to like really be, it's like, are you sure? Did you really want to do this? If ever given the opportunity to even ask Gary Winnick a single question, it would be, what is the skin color of the Edisons? Or Schwartz's? What I said was, if given the opportunity to ask Gary Winnick one single question, and have it answered, it would be, what color is the Edison's skin? Like, definitively. Although on the Thimbleweed Park forums, they've addressed things a few times. Like, it sort of seems like Ron doesn't really see Day of the Tentacle as a proper sequel to Maniac Mansion. But, you know, same sort of thing. Absolutely. The main versions had the regular skin tone. Then the blue was an artistic touch for V2, and then in their representation in Thimbleweed Park, they're sort of greenish. And then if it turned out that he decides that they're supposed to be blue or green blue or whatever sort of thing, I would say it's, But anyways, so use key in door. Okay. See, for me, 99% of the time, I just kill a playthrough right there. Yeah, you can get them back out. I just hate having I hate the playthroughs where you have one character just stuck in jail the whole time. Like, right from the beginning. Yeah. Anyways, this is not what we're doing. Exit. Let's go ahead and just irritate him.
Hey, want to see a neat trick?
Sure.
Neat, huh?
My Pony Express stamps. You'll ruin my
He's
Pony
made some
Express
big
stamps,
progress
not to mention
since the
Barney
first
and
game.
Sandy. Get out of
Like,
my
for
room.
example, Bernard's not dead.
Jeez, what a grump.
He's not buried
We
in the
should
front
really try to
lawn.
find some outlet for those.
So there's that. All he did was get a book chucked in his head.
Negative feelings.
Get out of here.
This should be an optional death right here. Like, try too hard death. Like, if you stand in here for 10 minutes, he will kill you. Like, before giving him back the book fixed, right?
Hey, you fixed it. I guess I can forgive you now.
Okay, so
I remember when I was trying
Stuff, and I don't
I
even
already
know
heard that
why.
one.
As if my body were being controlled by some demented, sadistic puppet master.
Well, we all feel that way
Totally.
sometimes.
Totally. Definitely. Just, like, if you stood here aggravating him further after he was already red ragey, he's a character who has a history of killing player characters anyway. Although, to be fair, that's only if we mutilate his fucking hamster. Yeah. Oh, of course. But see, that's the thing, is if, like, say, like, it's just as optional as, say, the MI1 floating death. Like, realistically, there's nothing you could do after that either, except just, like, reload before that, right? But you have to try hard to get that. You have to try hard at doing absolutely nothing to get that. And so if you could sit here and it takes a level of time, say it click after 8 minutes in, if you say something about steps or like do something and piss them off, and then it's done, right? And then it just automatically clicks. Let's try that again, you know. Without having to worry about having the player having made a save before that. Just that didn't work right. Alright, let's actually, we haven't gone all the way to the top, and we might as well do that before we send anything off or switch anything out. Like this room that has no effective contemporary in any other version of the attic.
It's already open.
Well, then let's go. I need that damn letter. Come on, give me another audio track. No, it's not. Okay, well, let's go somewhere else. Let's give that to her. We can't flush them, so let's go throw them in the ice chest.
I'm sorry to do this to you, little fella, but it's for the future of the whole planet.
The Maniac Mansion series does not have a ton of respect for hamsters. I'm gonna say. Okay. So his future self from here would be the depressed joke maker. Gotta figure out their analogs in the future too. Let's give him the... Oh, no, we gotta get him to go inside. We do so by washing the van. Oh, well, there's also this here. So that means we can send that to Bernard, which would be helpful. Because I was like, where the heck is this letter? We didn't fill up the bucket with water, so let's go back and do that as well. Wow, that just got very clear when I got closer to the microphone. I really need to experiment more with the other cardioid patterns that the Yeti uses, or get myself a better microphone if I'm going to keep doing this all the time. Bloom. Alright, let's throw some soap in there, because we gotta go.
The water's all sudsy now.
Hey, hon.
Yeah. So I gotta go pick up the kids.
Yeah.
Anakin's sleeping.
Okay.
And Mason is just in the media room. I told him if he needs anything to bug at the store here.
Alright.
But yeah. I love you.
I love you. Don't tase yourself.
Looks
bro.
like a big storm.
Jeez.
See, this is
It's
why
all
I
these
never wash my
lighters,
car.
And like, they're tasers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's...
Hey, Ben.
The unfortunate part is like,
Where are you going?
Where
What
you
about
go to
your
turn it on is also
experiment?
where you swipe up to open it.
Even
so you
science
kind of
sometimes
tase
gets cold
Yeah.
on account of rain, my boy.
But how are you ever going
I
to
love
get
you.
light?
I love you.
You're not going to stand out in a storm.
Yeah, see you soon, my love.
To be frank, which I am, I don't know. The science of electrodynamics, much like your mind,
I
apparently,
can believe that
is still in a state of
Ben
relative
Franklin might
infancy.
enjoy puns.
Back to the drawing
Although
board,
I would have
say.
to look into when
What a
puns
genius.
themselves gain popularity. Hey, look.
So, Dave, are you going to take credit for the wash your car to make it rain puzzle?
I always feel like I need to both apologize for and defend this puzzle in this game because I mean, there is a lesson here about how to design puzzles because you always want to make sure that the audience has all of the information that they need in order to make the leap that's going to get them the puzzle solution. And in this case, like I grew up with a father who told me that it was just common knowledge that when you washed your car, it made it rain. So I just assumed that everybody around the globe would understand that and that we didn't really have to say much
We all found that to be acceptable.
about it.
I think we are like, yep,
a lot of people
very good puzzle.
have had, a lot of people have come back and complained about that over the years. That
Well,
that was
but
probably fun.
when you do try to wash the Cadillac,
Right, there's a great hint. There's
there?
another
Okay.
car in
What
there.
does he say?
It says "wash me" right on there, and when you try to wash it, he says something like, "I don't want to do that because every time I wash my car, it makes it rain."
that I think my judgment is that is absolutely fair.
The hint is in there.
It's
and
right
if you
there.
were- if
It's
you
a
were
big
doing
old
the
sign.
exploration,
Yeah, you know, I didn't really get it myself. But I mean, it's sort of a play on, you know, it's a lesson on assuming that colloquialisms are going to apply everywhere. That makes sense, of course. Alright, so, but let's actually do some stuff. So there, I thought I gave the chattering teeth to Hoagie. I did not take some chattering teeth, Hoagie. Those are unnecessarily jagged compared to let's, I guess they are sort of jagged there, but that's purely out of necessity. I wouldn't say that that's actually, these are, anyways. I am far from an artist. My attempts to draw anything of this caliber have been massive failures. So while I can look at it and say, that's odd, I can't say I could do any better. Frou-frou emeralds stolen. Prince left behind. Alright, back to... We just played that commentary, sir. So first, let's make George appear as if he's cold. Oh wait, no, we gotta do... Okay. Let's go... fool the severely depressed designer into thinking he has a chance when he doesn't.
I don't understand what was wrong with exploding catnip.
That was really disturbing when he...
Yeah, we did.
Hey, there's a letter here for you.
For me? Probably another rejection slip. Oh well. You're brilliant.
What happened?
What a
His head
novel
glitched
design.
out, or
Come
like
to Baltimore
a
at
weird
once.
part of his head disappeared for half a second. You know, Bernard does some really questionable shit in this game. Just saying, like they all do, but man. Not gonna go swap out. Future Franklin. I'm not sure that there's enough humans here in the future to have direct analogs for all of the founding fathers. Yeah, that's why I figure Hancock is like he's this age is John Hancock. This guy's this age is Ben Franklin. I can't think of anybody who's got Thomas Jefferson's look in this age. And the only person I can think of for George Washington is potentially the guy in the ski mask, but I'm gonna go out after and take a serious look at him.
That's the second coolest pocket protector I've ever
Very
seen.
possible. Maybe they just decide not to touch it, or they cut that from it.
Oh, never mind.
Although I do think pretty much all of them have analogs in the contestants for the human show in the future.
Hi there.
What can I do for you, kid?
I don't think there's enough of a cast in present day to have all the analogs here. Or maybe I'm just missing it. Maybe I should go take a look again at the big chunky dude and see if maybe I'm just missing correlation.
Nice cigars.
I roll them myself. So, want another cigar?
Okay, but only if you promise not to light it this time.
Would I do a thing like that?
It would appear that both future Franklin or present Franklin and Bernard do shop at the same store.
Get lost, kid.
They both got some gray pants, similar belt, and a shirt. They change it up on ties. They're different people, you know. They're not. But gold flakes? What? Golo flakes? Gold? No, that's not a D. Interesting. Let's see what. Of course, there was no label on that in the original whatsoever. WAP is the same. Rubber chicken. They're just classic things. Golo flakes. That would make sense. Grim Fandango reference. Gross. Also gross. There's no point going back there now. Yep. Let's go talk to my suspect. Could be, but it's a bit of a stretch. You'd have to assume something about them. Maybe. Ooh, maybe their analogs are in the FBI agents that show up later.
Hi.
This guy's...
Don't sneak up on me like that.
I mean, he could be a George Washington type character, because the head shape is correct, but I don't see why they would have such a blatant Jack Nicholson reference. No, probably not. Not every character. And yeah, why would they give him this blatant Jack Nicholson type voice
Nice
when they
crowbar.
established George Washington
Thanks.
differently.
Don't even think about asking to use it.
Nah.
I need it.
Nice crowbar.
Yeah, I know.
What are you up to?
I locked my keys in the car.
Fuck, I should have grabbed those keys, though.
See you later.
Yeah.
Because then at least I'd have a crowbar right now. Shit. Why is Chuck the Plant a freaking cactus now? I mean, technically, if he was an aloe plant previously, I guess that is a type of cactus. Nah, I couldn't even try to pretend that was an analog for any of the existing Founding Father characters. Close this door. No,
It's
open
already
it. Yeah,
open.
I know. Let's close it. Got an achievement for that. That's fine. Got an achievement for that too. And the achievement shows me a picture of the person I gotta give the keys to. Well, almost a little bit of a mini spoiler right there. Oh, who's in this picture?
It's signed, here's your EPA grant. Keep up the good work. Hi from Mommy. Ronnie, 83.
Totally. Okay. There shouldn't be any noise coming from up there.
Here, perhaps these are your keys.
Where?
Let me see.
Gimme. Hey, thanks, pal. Keep the crowbar.
Thank you, Masked Man.
Is that the Edsel?
Maybe this one. What sort of person would carry around this many
Zach.
keys?
And it says Zach in the original, too.
Maybe this one. Drat. Maybe
So,
this
I mean,
one.
I'm not
It
going to
must
say
be
that's
one of these.
Zach, okay. Because, yeah, Zach McCracken
Drat.
isn't Z-A-C-K.
What sort of person would
Son's
carry
name.
around this many keys?
That makes perfect sense.
It must be one of these. Maybe this one.
It's crowbar some shit. It's always good to crowbar some shit. Aha. It seems to really pay attention. Well, I know it clicks over when it goes on to any object. But that's a great way of highlighting that this object is selectable. I do like the convention of having the item's name float over top of the cursor as well. I love the status bar as much as anybody. I want to have it tattooed on me, apparently. So, but it is cool that it would just pop up there. But this one I'm gonna use the crowbar on this too. Yup. One, two. Oop.
So there was I did actual math for how much money should be in that pile of quarters. Run.
That's Dave. He would actually calculate how many to run for how many years? For 200 years?
$800,000 or something. Yeah, 200 years to the minute.
And I'm glad you did that, because someone else on the internet would have done it and said we used the wrong number if we didn't do that.
1968, 1974. Oh, 1977.
You never see old coins like that anymore. Not even to the same degree as you would like when I was younger. No, I mean like, I just mean coins in circulation that are 30 plus years old. Seems very rare. At least here in Canada. And now it's like they cycle out the money pretty regularly, and especially here in Canada, we have our money replaced by new designs of the notes. I'm not going to say regularly, but during my lifetime, I've seen like 4 or 5 different redesigns of our entire currency. And then the previous iterations get retired eventually. Beyond having certain things change from physical paper bills to coins, of course, there's been many different redesigns and, frankly, remediums. Like, it's rare for us to see any paper money now. A lot of our money is very plastic, with its own significant features and stuff like that. Like, I do understand why people refer to it as Monopoly money, because it is very colorful. But very tear resistant until they have the slightest little tear in them, and then they just come apart like cellophane that has a rip in it, right? Okay, I stalled out a bit there. So we got a shit ton of quarters, we got dimes and dimes, and so I can knock that one guy on the floor. I don't need any of that stuff yet. In fact, there's a ton of stuff in the future with lever, and I should probably just get started doing.
The reason for the way Day the Tentacle looked.
Yoo-hoo, Mr. Tentacle guy.
Yoo-hoo, Mr. Tentacle guy.
It's about time.
I quite enjoy electrifying.
Mr. Tentacle guy.
What?
I probably won't stop doing that.
Ooh, I don't feel so good. I think I'm going to throw up all over.
Uh-oh. Time to visit Dr. Tentacle. Well, well, what have we here?
I feel pukey.
Indeed. All right, now hold still.
That diagram implies that they're not much more than a digestive tract with 3 entrances.
What? What?
Just
I
as
can
I
understand them having a basic,
There's nothing wrong with you,
non-understanding
human.
of human anatomy
What a
after 200 years of them just being
Well,
pets.
I'm late for the show. I'll send your
I
people
can't
back.
claim to... Well, no, he's a doctor. Okay, I give up. But he's not a veterinarian, damn it.
Sit. Stay. Good boy.
Give me your damn tentacle jerk. Get out of here. Alright. So. No, okay, my one person I was thinking of is not who I was. I do think that is George Washington, though. That's totally George Washington. That's his analog in this age. Maybe that's Hancock, but it's hard to see. You know, they're all doing these fake smiles, and that's a female, so that one. But he has the right jawline. He has the eye tone and everything, and let's talk to him. See if his voice shares the same timbre. And I wonder if they're played by...
Hi, my name's Laverne. I'm a sophomore.
My name's Harold. I'm a thoroughbred.
Okay. Who's the voice actor, though? Anyways, we don't really need to talk to Harold.
Hey, hold that thought. I got a boogie.
Keep in touch.
Although he has the arrogance, too. No, that's not. That's a kennel. That's there. This part has already got the stuff out of there. We haven't done anything with that. So, run back to the kennel. That's pointless so far, unless I do a thing here. I just sort of preload her existence in this area and send that.
I can't get to the Chronogon from here.
Oh, shit. I just keep missing the prompt is all. I'm not skipping it on purpose.
Blue tentacle. I forgot there's different colors.
Blue tentacle.
Which raises the question, purple tentacle went off and come to like, who did he mate with to create
Obviously. Wait a second.
That is frightening.
No, that would be blue and...
Yeah, blue and red. His parents must have been... But his brother is
well, you know,
green.
it's like a dominant recessive gene kind of thing. You know, like it's if you have the blue eyes, but you could still have brown eyes. You could still have the blue-eyed gene. You could have the blue if you're purple. You know.
Meanwhile,
tell me, Lieutenant, how do you really feel about humans?
Honestly, sir, I think they're filthy, obscene, foul, sickening, like the stuff in your eyes when you wake up. Like the wax that builds up behind your suction cups after a few days.
ouch. That's the first time I've seen the text lag that far behind.
But that's enough, son. I just wanted to be sure you weren't one of those humanist
big moment there.
sympathizers. What with this ridiculous human show going on here, there's humophiles everywhere.
I'm no humophile, sir.
That's good. Now let me tell you about a little plan I have.
Absolutely, that is not there primarily. In the previous room, there was commentary, which we just listened to, but sadly, there is not here. But we do need...
Hold it! Humans aren't allowed to roam free here. I'm taking you back to the kennel.
I wish I had some sort of tentacle disguise.
Yes, that's the plan. But I need to get you close to the Chronogon, which currently until... Oh, that's how we electrocute Oliver. Until we get said disguise,
Mr. Tentacle Guy.
I have to fart around this way.
I have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, all right. Come on, let's take a walk. Okay, human, do your business.
From here, can I just... Sweet. We give the chatter to... Oh, wait, no, we got it. Send that plus the lighter to... I did not send the lighter as well. And I think that's a scene we're talking about too. I am hitting my 2-hour mark, so I will be stopping here soon. But let's send that to Hoagie, and let's go do that scene. Not only do we take I guess he's the future president now, but he's also definitely an important figure. And
excuse me.
We point what looks like a gun at them. They have no reason to think it's not a gun. Gun lighters don't exist yet.
Can you also provide me with a light?
An explosion. An explosive.
Well, in that case.
As well. We set this off in his face and somehow survive this moment. And
Blast, I hate it when that happens. See if you can't find those for me, will you?
Yeah.
There's a good lad.
it is definitely... it seems like they took enough time to mention enough of that sort of... God. They were wooden. They're just gone.
Could you use these?
Yeah. So it would make sense to have had the wooden teeth there.
Why, thank you, young man. Strange. I wonder if I should cut down on the coffee.
Hey, Tom, look! The father of our nation is cold. Better build a fire.
You're right. Huh? I guess you can have my log.
Me?
Log,
Why should I build
it's
the
big,
fire?
it's heavy and wood.
You build the
Log,
fire.
log,
I'm
it's better
bothered
than
by
that,
the
it's good.
smoke. You build the
Everyone
fire.
loves the log. You better get the
I'm
log.
bothered by your attitude. You build the fire.
No, you build the fire, Mr. Penmanship.
No, you build the fire, log lover.
No, you build the fire.
No, you build the fire.
2 hours later.
You big baby.
Alright. Now, give me your blanket. Take my line.
Thank you. This is exactly the sort of thing I need for the time capsule. I'll bury it tonight, and it won't be seen for hundreds of years. Future generations are in your debt.
Whoa.
Alright. Continuing forward. No, that was pointless. We're going... No, that's Ben's room we want. Yep. Perfect. We managed to, like, beyond the fact we just changed the flag into Tentacle, we changed the nature of flags. We made windsocks the thing.
Ahem. The LALR compiler is constructed by the following method. First, develop a rigorous elective grammar. If the elements have NP completeness, the crunchy factor can be ignored. Blah, 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 blah. Whoa.
It sounds to me like the intro to the scum documents. Yeah, we don't need to pick up a cat. But we are going to smoke them out of that room so we can take the gold we need. Gotta make that battery. And then fire everybody out.
Fire!
Okay. Who was the idiot who started the fire?
They can start fire. They're always burning. Interesting. Yeah, I guess, you know. Him.
Well, you
Oh, there's commentary. Not sure if I hit it the first time through.
I remember we would deliver a piece of music, and
yeah, we
and
hit
of course
this one
it's comprised mostly of MIDI note events, which is
yeah, totally. Yeah, I guess during this age it'd be weird to have them wearing red coats. That has to go to them. Did I give that to her? I don't think I did. No. Alright. Well, let's go make Laverne a little freer.
Yoo-hoo, Mr. Tentacle Guy.
It's about time.
Let's go put on the only suit we'll ever need.
Yoo-hoo, Mr. Tentacle Guy.
What?
Ooh, I don't feel so good.
Again?
Oh no. Okay, so let's skip then. There we go. I guess they just merged it with the period. I don't know if I like that. That can't just be a text skip then. That's gonna skip every cutscene. Pressing escape made it go to that menu instead. Did we do
Blue Tentacle.
Yeah, Blue Tentacle. Of course, these are my silly criticisms. I am not a game developer, nor do I have a clue how I would do it any better other than, I guess, just making a different buttons. Yeah, I'm sure it is in there as a different button too, and I'm just not looking at the thing that tells me that, but... Not only, oh Jesus, not only do they assume she's a tentacle from that point forward, but a hot one. Like, I think that maybe it was potentially another multi-tiered puzzle in the sense that, maybe we had to dye it too, because we don't see any other multicolored tentacles ever. You know, is there a track here? No. Usually. And the achievement is called Costume Quest, which is, of course, a reference to another Double Fine title. Literally disguise yourself in a windsock. What does that do? Future kitchen tech is frightening. But now, let us go upstairs.
Stupid tentacle.
Did you do all the backgrounds yourself? Did you have any
on this
secondary
one,
help?
No secondary help on this one. It was challenging because it was. I remember to accomplish the assignments on time. I remember I had to do the roughs in a day, and then walk it across the parking lot. Have you guys check in, and then I did the next day I did a marker illustration of it, and then the following day was to scan it and then fix the illustration after it was scanned. So I try to get, you know, a room done like every 4 days just to stay on schedule.
Happy Giant liked my tweet from today too about us starting this game. That's awesome. That's awesome. I do really love that about Twitter, being able to interact with the developers. It's really cool. Part of me thinks that one of the main reasons why I'm trying to track down a Commodore 64 and learn more about it, and then just get into, because I'm gonna get Ron Gilbert's book that he wrote about graphics basic or that sort of thing, and go through that. I always thought my best bet of ever having a good conversation with Ron Gilbert that isn't just me gushing over Monkey Island is to try to figure out something that he enjoys talking about, and that would yeah, it was a piece of software, but he wrote the manual for it too. Back then, all the software came with giant fucking manuals, and when it comes to something you're programming, the amount of instructions that would have to be attached to it, like it. But I definitely want to learn more about it. Basically, the point I was making is, I feel like if I ever want to have a really good conversation with Ron Gilbert that he would enjoy having, I probably should learn how to like code or program or something, because that's what he loves, right? I love how at some point as time passes, Ted just becomes Leisure Suit Larry. I know he's more of doing an Elvis thing, but come on. I'm gonna have fun with that stretch of my thought. Or maybe this is his version of a midlife crisis. Maybe Mummy lives are way longer, so this is his turn for his midlife crisis. Although, I mean, he's deceased. Anyways, there's a point to this joke. I'm sure there's a point to this joke, other than oh look, the Mummy likes Elvis stuff now. Take that, Harold.
Pizza Orgies, they predated me and you being in the company. They used to invite all their friends and family over and play the game all night long and get a whole bunch of pizza. And an orgy was involved. The orgy part stopped before we came.
I think they stopped doing that, yeah, because...
Those were fun, the pizza orgies. Because we were there anyway. We weren't going anywhere.
We weren't big on the whole work-life balance thing. But...
Yeah, and boy, the variety. I remember it was like 10 or 12 different types of pizzas, and they were each was stacked 4 high, and there's so much pizza and beer as well. We used to have beer and walk around from system to system and watch people playing the game and get into it. And
that's cool.
It was a fun thing.
I just remember it probably would have been better to be behind that one-way glass, because I just would hover and want to...
Give hints.
No, go. Oh,
it's hard not to give hints.
I love being able to ask people questions, though. That was always like the best part of the experience. Is like,
what are you trying to do?
Yeah, what are you trying to do?
I always had that problem. This is part of the reason why
that's not in our game.
That's a good idea. We should put that in.
In the playthroughs that myself and Chelsea are doing later on at night, the After Dark streams, we're picking ones that I haven't played before or beat before, because I could totally plant her in front of it and say, here, play Monkey Island. She would either want the help, or I would be all like, oh, and you do this. And then I'm like, well, why do I do that? And I'm like, that's just how the game wants you to do it, and it's not as fun. It's not as fun. Getting the odd hint is cool, but it's the discovery. Extension cord. We did that one already.
Great Scott!
Holy shit!
You're
Now, you notice the tentacle chairs in the foreground there.
What is that?
Was that what
Those are tentacle chairs.
But what's the thing that looks like
They
a
look
plug
like
going
te-
into the desk?
That looks like a toilet.
Yeah.
Is that like a power thing or is that a chair?
Mouse.
They look like toilets, tentacle chairs.
That's right.
What's that supposed to mean? You're not a human sympathizer, are you?
I think I'd better be going now.
Yes, leave me to my ingenious plans.
It's a cool zoom effect. I remember you had mentioned
You're
it when we were
disrupting
through
my
here.
concentration.
Because it's not in the original, so they added it in for this room. But it's like it's likely just an animated thing, but it's like they could have just
My
created
secret
bars
weapon
that
is almost ready.
Enlarge it as it goes along. I don't claim to have a huge knowledge of this stuff, but I when it comes to like the graphics basic and that sort, I really want to learn. I spent an inordinate amount of time the last few days watching very intricate Commodore 64 repair videos, because I figure I have a better chance of not spending a fucking ton of money if I get something that's, you know, that could be possibly repaired. Of course, not a completely fried board. Something like with the damage. There's some parts that are very replaceable, and a lot of Commodore 64 boards can benefit from having some of its chips replaced, and in the process putting in sockets, which make it easier to replace chips should they fail again in the future. There's also some effective modern replacements for certain things that it just seems like, in my attempts to do, my efforts in emulation have made me want to play on hardware so bad. But yeah. Alright, so actually guys, I think I'm going to have to call it at this point, and then we'll come back to this on Thursday. So definitely have to save. Where's my save? Bonus new save. The floppy drive. I just love this so much. Being awfully nostalgic for old computers. Like, my obsession with trying to track down a Commodore 64 isn't limited to that right now. It's just about all of those microcomputers from that time. The fact that I have copies of these games back here for Atari ST means I need an Atari ST. I want to incorporate natural hardware whenever possible into these playthroughs. Maybe not these playthroughs, but the retrospectives and just other ways to elongate. If I was to dedicate the entire channel to just playing the LucasArts adventure games, I'm gonna have to play a lot of different versions to keep that going after you know, some months time. Anyways, thank you very much everybody for joining us. Thanks again to Dave Grossman and Larry Ahern for their likes and shares on my announcement of today's stream. It always feels really cool, and thank you very much. Thanks for as always, ATM Machine. I love when we talk about this stuff, so thanks again for joining us. If I see you Thursday, we'll see you then. And yeah, we will do the next one on Thursday. Thanks for joining us. Hope everybody has an awesome day. Take care, and catch you on the next stream.